It may surprise you. It may even shock you. But if you are watching this right now, it's not by accident, it's by divine design. If your eyes are on this message, it means one thing: chosen one. Your vision scares them, but it's your gift. This is your confirmation. This is your mirror. This is your awakening. You felt different. You've thought differently. You've seen what others don't. And because of that, you've been misunderstood, rejected, even feared. But that fear, that resistance, it's not a flaw. It's proof. It's the evidence that what lives in you threatens the illusions around you. You walk through the same world as everyone else, but your eyes see the codes beneath the surface. While others chase trends, you chase truth. While they seek validation, you seek vision. And that vision? It is divine. It is disruptive. And it's why some people can't stand to be around you, because when your light walks into the room, their shadows get exposed. Before we go any deeper, take this moment and claim your space in this reality. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and most importantly, comment 77 to send a signal straight to the universe. Play this on repeat if you feel the frequency, because each time you hear it, you're aligning more deeply with the gift that's been hidden inside of you. And let's make one thing clear: if you're truly chosen, you're going to watch this until the very end. If you're not, the energy will repel you. You'll click off. You'll scroll away. But the real ones, the true chosen, they feel this in their bones. Let's begin. Chapter 1: The Gift They Feared. From the moment you were born, the universe marked you. Not with noise, not with flash, but with something far more potent, far more disruptive to the illusion: clarity. A depth of perception that pierced through lies, through appearances, through social masks and accepted norms. While others were handed eyes to look, you were given vision to see. You were born with sight that unsettles the blind, with knowing that echoes through spiritual dimensions. This isn't imagination. This isn't coincidence. This is the inheritance of a soul sent here with purpose. And make no mistake, your vision scares them. We live in a world that worships conformity. A reality designed by systems that function best when people don't ask questions. Go to school. Get the job. Stay in line. Be quiet. Don't disrupt. But you were the glitch. The anomaly. The disturbance in their matrix. Even as a child, your spirit resisted the script. You asked the questions that left adults fumbling. You noticed the secrets they tried to hide. You absorbed the mood of rooms like air. You knew when people were lying, even when they smiled. You saw the disconnect between their words and their energy. That was never something you trained for. It was coded in your soul from the beginning. But here's the truth the world doesn't tell you: vision is dangerous. Vision unravels comfort. Vision disturbs illusion. Vision demands awakening. And when you carry that kind of sight into a world addicted to sleep, you're not embraced, you're exiled. You're not celebrated, you're silenced. Because to those who hide behind illusion, the seer becomes the enemy. Your awareness feels like an attack, even when you said nothing at all. That's why people distanced themselves. That's why they changed around you. They couldn't bear the truth your energy revealed. You became the mirror they couldn't look into. You were labeled intense, too sensitive, too serious, too much. But what they were really saying was, you make me feel things I've buried. Your presence disturbed their denial. Your eyes looked too deeply. Your silence spoke too loudly. So they pushed you away, and not because of who you are, but because of what you awaken in them. And it hurt. Let's be honest, Chosen one, it hurt to be misunderstood. It hurt to watch people you loved drift away. It hurt to feel like your gift was a curse. But now you're beginning to see the deeper purpose. That rejection? It was a shield. That loneliness? It was sacred. That silence? It was initiation. You weren't being abandoned, you were being prepared. You were being trained in isolation to become immune to the illusions of the crowd. You were being entered at the noise so you could hear the voice within. The ones who couldn't handle your vision were sharpening your discernment. The ones who betrayed your trust were teaching you who not to become. The pain wasn't punishment, it was refinement. You were being forged like a blade, tempered in fire, pressurized by heaven. Not for comfort, but for impact. And now, something deep inside you knows your vision is activating. It's louder than before. It's clearer. You feel it in your gut, in your dreams, in the way you can no longer tolerate shallow conversations or empty environments. You've changed. You no longer resonate with the old. The things that once entertained you now drain you. The people you once tried to fit in with now feel foreign. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. Your frequency has shifted, and the universe is adjusting everything to match your level. Because you weren't sent here to stay asleep. You weren't sent here to be popular. You were sent to be precise. To decode deception. To disrupt the narrative. To pull back the curtain and speak what others are afraid to see. And yes, it's heavy. Yes, it's lonely. But the heaviness is holy. The solitude is sacred. Because what you're carrying is prophetic. You've been walking through this world like a puzzle piece from a different box. And now it's starting to make sense. The world is cracking. The systems are collapsing. The illusions are dying. And you are rising. Your vision is no longer a burden. It's a blueprint, a weapon, a torch in the darkness. And those who tried to dim you, they're about to see why they couldn't. Stop apologizing for your knowing. Stop shrinking because others are intimidated. Stop hiding behind normal just to make others feel secure. You weren't born for average. You weren't born for silence. You were born to blaze. Your vision isn't a glitch, it's a divine installation. It's the signal that you are meant to lead. Yes, you may feel alone, but the truth is, you are never isolated from purpose. You're in alignment with a mission that goes beyond this world. You've been placed, positioned, and protected. What's in you is rare. And because it's rare, it's often unrecognized by the common eye. But don't let that discourage you, let it confirm you. Because chosen one, when you walk with divine sight, you don't follow the crowd, you guide it. You don't seek approval, you move by assignment. You don't blend in, you break cycles. You don't echo trends, you embody truth. So walk tall. Walk certain. Walk with fire. Let your vision shine like a sword and a shield. Speak it, write it, dream it, live it. And when they fear you for it, good. That fear means you're touching the part of them they've long forgotten. That fear means your light is doing its job. You were never meant to be understood by the masses. You were meant to be followed by the awakened. This is your time. This is your gift. This is your calling. They feared this day would come. The day you would no longer doubt your sight. The day you would remember who you are. The day you would stop hiding and start walking in the fire that's been burning inside you since birth. Well, chosen one, that day is here. And now? Nothing will ever be the same again. Chapter 2, They tried to dim you. From the beginning, they sensed it. Even if they couldn't explain it, they felt it. Something about you burned too brightly, stood out too strongly, disrupted too effortlessly. And because they didn't understand it, they tried to dim it. They didn't just silence your voice, they tried to suffocate your essence. It started subtly. Maybe it was the way they mocked your passion, rolled their eyes when you shared your dreams, questioned your intensity when you spoke from your soul. They disguised their fear as a concern, their envy as advice, and their attempts to control you as guidance. But you knew. Something in you always knew. They weren't trying to support you. They were trying to shrink you. Not because you were wrong, but because you were right, and your truth exposed their comfort zones. You see, most people are addicted to average. They cling to the familiar, even if it's dysfunctional. They build their identity on fitting in, on being accepted, on staying small. But you weren't built like them. Your spirit refused to be boxed. Your voice echoed from realms they've never touched. Your very presence felt like an interruption to their illusions, and instead of evolving, they tried to eliminate the discomfort, you. They may have tried to make you feel guilty for your confidence. Guilty for dreaming big. Guilty for speaking truths that others avoid. They called you arrogant when you were just aware. They called you dramatic when you were just intuitive. They made you feel like the outcast, when in reality, they were just scared of the mirror you held up to their soul. And yet, despite it all, you survived. No, you transcended. You stayed true. Even when you were isolated. Even when you questioned yourself. Even when you felt like maybe the world was right and you were wrong. But that was just the illusion speaking. That was the noise trying to drown out your knowing. Let's be clear, if your light had no power, they wouldn't have fought so hard to dim it. If your voice wasn't dangerous, they wouldn't have tried to silence it. If your vision wasn't prophetic, they wouldn't have tried to make you blind to it. The opposition was confirmation. The rejection was a signal. The loneliness was a threshold. Because you weren't just being attacked. You were being identified, marked, recognized. Even if they didn't consciously understand it, their spirits did. They felt the difference in you, and difference makes people uncomfortable. But don't you ever mistake discomfort for wrongness? Often, the very thing that causes tension is the thing that brings transformation. So what now? Now you rise. Not in rebellion, but in revelation. You've been hiding long enough. Shrinking long enough. Minimizing your fire to make others warm in their coldness. But no more. Your vision isn't a spark. It's a blaze. And the world is colder without it. Let them be uncomfortable. Let them talk. Let them stare. That's the price of walking with divine sight in a world that lives on distraction. You're not meant to explain yourself to everyone. You're not here for validation. You're here to fulfill a purpose that was tattooed on your soul before birth. And the ones who tried to dim you, they're going to witness your light now. Not out of spite, but because destiny can't be denied forever. You are what they said you weren't. You will do what they said you couldn't. And your vision, the one they tried to shame, is about to open doors they never even knew existed. Let them see it. Let them feel it. Because you no longer owe your silence to those who feared your voice. Chapter 3. The isolation was initiation. They saw you alone and thought you were losing. They assumed your silence was defeat, that your absence meant you had given up. But what they couldn't see, what they were never meant to see, was what was happening in the spirit. That isolation? It wasn't punishment. It was initiation. A divine process. A sacred cocoon where your power was being awakened, where your vision was being sharpened, where your identity was being reforged, not broken, but reconstructed from ashes into authority. Chosen one, isolation is a realm where the ordinary cannot follow. It's not just about being physically alone, it's about entering a spiritual dimension that few dare to tread. It's where noise fades, where distractions dissolve, and where illusions are stripped away. It's where your true self begins to speak louder than the expectations of the world. The silence wasn't empty, it was saturated with whispers from the divine. The loneliness wasn't abandonment, it was protection. A supernatural shelter from energies, influences, and spirits that couldn't walk where you were being sent. During that season, you cried tears no one ever saw. You fought battles that never made it into conversation. You questioned why your phone stopped ringing, why doors that once opened suddenly slammed shut. You wondered why your name wasn't called, why your presence wasn't celebrated. But now you understand, you weren't being rejected, you were being redirected. You weren't forgotten, you were hidden. Hidden from premature exposure. Hidden from enemies who would have sabotaged your growth. Hidden from noise that would have drowned out the voice of God. Hidden from the very distractions that would have diluted the weight of your assignment. You were being preserved in private so that when your time came, nothing could pull you back. You learned to sit in stillness when all you had was your breath. You discovered the difference between loneliness and being alone. You faced demons, not with arguments, not with escape, but with stillness. You stopped running and started listening. You went inward. And in that deep inward space, you heard the whisper that shattered everything the world tried to place on you: you are not like them. And it's true. You're not. You weren't born to blend in. You were crafted to stand apart. You were marked, set aside, sacred. And because of that, your process had to be different. The fire you walked through wasn't designed to consume you, it was designed to reveal you. The pain you carried wasn't proof of abandonment, it was the pressure that produced oil. Anointing. Depth. Power. In isolation, you learned how to believe in your vision not when it was affirmed, but when it was denied. You learned to keep walking when the road was unclear, to keep sowing when the harvest looked impossible, to speak life over yourself when no one else even noticed your effort. You became your own witness, your own intercessor, your own motivator. And that was the shift. That was the moment you moved from being shaped by the world to being sent by the divine. And now, when you walk into rooms, you're not seeking validation. You are the vibration. You don't need applause to confirm your authority. You don't ask for permission to exist. You don't follow what's trending, you walk in timeless truth, unmoved by the crowd, aligned with the calling. So yes, it was hard. Yes, it broke you in ways no one can ever understand. But the breaking wasn't the end. It was the becoming. The isolation didn't empty you, it prepared you. What was forged in the silence cannot be dismantled by public opinion. What was shaped in secret cannot be undone by the noise of the crowd. You were built in sacred space. You were strengthened behind the veil. And now, heaven is declaring, it's time. Come out of hiding. Come out of hesitation. Come out of survival mode. Your isolation has served its purpose. Your initiation is complete. What once felt like exile has become elevation. What once looked like delay was divine development. The wilderness has birthed the warrior. The silence has built the speaker. And now, your assignment has begun. Chapter 4, The Mirror and the Mask. Everywhere you go, people react to you. Sometimes it's curiosity. Sometimes admiration. But often, it's fear. A fear they can't explain. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because something about your presence touches a place in them they've been avoiding for years. Your eyes carry a knowing. Your energy carries depth. Your words cut through pretense like lightning through clouds. You are not just a person, you are a mirror. And for those who've been hiding behind masks for so long, the mirror becomes a threat. A terrifying one. You don't even have to say much. You can walk into a room and shift the atmosphere. People fidget. They avoid eye contact. They change their tone. Why? Because your spirit sees. Your vibration reveals. Your very being causes buried truths to rise to the surface, and those who aren't ready to face themselves will do anything to avoid the reflection you offer. Most people build their identities around survival, not truth. They perform. They posture. They edit themselves until only a shell remains. They bury emotions. They hide wounds. They silence intuition just to be accepted by a world that rewards masks over authenticity. But you are different. You are raw, real, unfiltered. You don't play by the unspoken rules of pretense. You exist as you are, and that disrupts everything. When someone encounters you, they're faced with a choice: confront the truth within themselves, or reject the one who reminds them of it. That's why they accuse you. That's why they label you too much. Too emotional. Too intense. Too sensitive. Too spiritual. But what they're really saying is, you make me see parts of myself I'm not ready to face. You disturb their illusion of control. You poke at the narrative they've carefully constructed to survive. This is why so many relationships in your life have shifted, some slowly, others violently. Friendships faded without explanation. Family turned cold despite your love. Lovers disappeared without closure. It's not because you were broken. It's not because you were unworthy. It's because you saw them and they weren't ready to be seen. You looked past their words. You felt the truth behind their actions. You perceived what they tried to hide not just from you, but from themselves. And that kind of perception? It's powerful. But power, when misunderstood, becomes threatening. You weren't trying to harm them, you were reflecting back a truth their soul longed to heal from, but their ego refused to face. You triggered awakenings they didn't consent to. And for some, healing feels like betrayal when they've made an identity out of pain. But chosen one, don't carry guilt for being a mirror. Don't regret the clarity your presence brings. Don't silence your soul just to make others feel comfortable in their illusions. You weren't made to keep people asleep. You were made to call them back to themselves. And yes, truth is rarely comfortable. But it is always liberating. Your vision sees through masks. That's not a defect, it's a divine function. The world doesn't need more smooth talkers and people pleasers. It needs those who walk in truth, who challenge distortion, who see. You are not meant to be palatable to everyone. You are meant to be potent to the right ones. So keep being the mirror. Keep showing up as your full, authentic, unpolished self. Let those who are ready see themselves more clearly in your reflection. And those who run? Let them. Let them run. Let them hide. Some people need more time in the dark before they can face the power of the light you carry. You didn't come here to be accepted. You came here to be aligned. And alignment often means friction with what is false. That's why you were never meant to fit in, you were meant to stand out. To stand strong. To stand firm. To reflect truth even when others try to erase it. Let your presence speak even when your mouth is silent. Let your energy shift rooms. Let your discernment be your compass. And above all, let your heart stay open. Because while the mirror may scare many, the ones who are ready, they will never forget you. They will thank you. They will evolve because of you. So walk on, chosen one, with eyes that see through and a soul that reflects what's real. The world has enough masks. What it needs now is you. Chapter 5. Divine Vision has a price. Everyone wants purpose. Everyone claims to be seeking meaning, but few are truly prepared to pay the cost. And divine vision, true, sacred, piercing vision, costs more than most are ever willing to give. It doesn't just ask for your comfort, it asks for your transformation. It doesn't just stretch your mind, it shifts your entire existence. You're not just walking through life like others do. You're not simply existing. You're navigating layers. You're walking through dimensions. You're decoding realities that others can't even see. Your soul perceives what the natural eye is blind to. You receive downloads from higher realms, signals wrapped in dreams, divine nudges in moments of stillness. You feel truth before it's spoken. You sense danger before it arrives. You carry revelation while others are still wrapped in distraction. And that weight? It's real. It's not imagined. The burden of seeing is not light. Sometimes it feels like you're carrying a world that no one else even acknowledges exists. The visions you receive don't always make logical sense, not at first. You've questioned your sanity. You've wondered if it's all in your head. You've wrestled with the very gift that sets you apart. Because when you're tuned into frequencies higher than the crowd begins to feel like chaos. But hear this, chosen one, your vision is not fantasy, it is frequency. You're not delusional. You're divinely calibrated. You're not making it up. You're picking it up. You are tuned into the codes that others haven't yet aligned with. You hear what they don't hear. You feel what they try to numb. You know what they aren't ready to admit. And that level of knowing? It's lonely. It's heavy. It's misunderstood. There are moments where the vision feels less like a blessing and more like a burden. You see things before they happen, but no one believes you until it's too late. You sense energy shifts in people, and they call you too sensitive. You speak warnings wrapped in wisdom, and they mock you for being too intense. You know the truth behind the mask, but the world around you chooses to worship the mask instead. Still, the path you walk is not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the trendy. It's not for the one seeking quick validation. Carrying divine sight requires spiritual stamina. It requires maturity, the kind that comes from pain. It requires discipline, the kind that keeps you grounded when no one sees what you see. It demands discernment, the kind that teaches you to speak when it matters and to stay silent when the room isn't ready. You walk into rooms and feel the energy shift. You sense the tension behind fake smiles. You pick up on intentions buried beneath surface words. And yet, sometimes, you're called to stay quiet, not because you're wrong, but because your wisdom would be wasted on ears that aren't ready. That's the cost of vision. To know and sometimes wait. To carry truth and sometimes be denied. It's a lonely path, but it's a divine one. Because your vision isn't just for observation, it's for assignment. You're not called to see just for your benefit. You're called to intercede, to prepare, to warn, to act. Not for recognition, not for applause, not for likes or followers, but because your soul agreed to a mission far greater than approval. But chosen one, listen deeply now. The price you pay for vision is nothing compared to the power it unlocks. The more you honor what you've been given, the more heaven trusts you with deeper layers. When you steward the gift with integrity, when you don't dilute your discernment for acceptance, when you stay aligned even in isolation, you become unstoppable. You become a vessel not just of sight, but of strategy, healing, direction, and divine timing. You're not crazy. You're tuned in. You're not dramatic. You're deeply aware. You're not unstable. You're spiritually awake in a world addicted to sleep. Yes, there's a cost, but there's also a crown. And that crown is not made of gold or diamonds, it's made of clarity, conviction, and cosmic power. You were born to wear it, not to flex, but to lead. Not to dominate, but to deliver. Not to impress, but to ignite. So carry your vision with honor. Let it burn through the illusions. Let it lead you even when the road is lonely. Let it purify you, elevate you, transform you. Because this world doesn't need more copies. It needs clarity. It needs you. And you, chosen one, you were born to carry it. Chapter 6, you were sent ahead. Chosen one, there's something you must understand now more than ever. You weren't just gifted with vision so you could see further, you were sent ahead. You weren't born just to live among the crowd, but to walk ahead of it. You've always been early. You've always felt like you were seeing things before others did, sensing storms long before the clouds rolled in, feeling shifts before the ground trembled. That's not a coincidence. That's your design. That's divine foresight in motion. And being ahead? It's lonely. It's misunderstood. It's painful. Because you're seeing from a place others haven't reached yet. You speak truths they haven't discovered. You're warning of dangers they haven't seen. You're calling them to awaken while they're still trying to sleep. And they think you're strange. Too deep. Dramatic. But that's only because they're reacting from a place of delay, while you're already walking in signals sent straight from destiny. You've tried to slow down to match their pace, haven't you? You've tried to tone it down, to blend in, to make your insight more digestible. But all it did was shrink your soul and dim your fire. Because chosen one, you were never supposed to stay behind. You were always supposed to go first. You were built for trailblazing. You were designed for the front line. The pain you endured? It wasn't just for you, it was a blueprint. The betrayals? They weren't random, they were revelations. You've been blazing a trail through fire so others could walk through without burning. You've been decoding spiritual architecture so others could build without being deceived. You've been waking up in the middle of the night with visions that aren't just for your life, but for generations that will follow. You may have thought you were cursed because you were always the one who felt it first. The one who broke down. The one who cried alone. But that was just the weight of being chosen to go ahead. The loneliness? It was positioning. The heartbreak? It was refining. The silence? It was training ground for your voice. And now you're being shown why. Because others are awakening now. People are beginning to sense what you saw years ago. They're asking the questions you asked alone in silence. They're starting to remove their masks. They are starting to feel the frequency shift. And they're going to need someone who's already been there. They'll look for a guide, a voice, a presence that's already crossed through what they're just now confronting. That's you. You are not just the visionary. You are the evidence that vision can survive. That seeing doesn't have to destroy you. That knowing can become your greatest gift. Your walk wasn't in vain. Your tears watered something. Your prayers unlocked something. And now that fruit is beginning to bloom, not just in you, but around you. So stop trying to go back. Stop looking for permission. Stop waiting to be understood by those who were never meant to carry your frequency. You weren't meant to be recognized by the past. You were meant to be followed into the future. Own your timing. Honor your role. Walk boldly as the one who went ahead, not to be superior, but to be ready when others finally wake up and realize the truth. You are the one who climbed the mountain so you could light the torch. Now hold it high. Let it burn. Let it shine. Let it guide. Because your path was never just for you, it was always for those who would follow. Chapter 7, The Unveiling begins. This is the chapter the enemy feared. This is the version of you they hoped would never emerge. This is the unveiling. The moment when the gift they mocked becomes undeniable. The moment your silence breaks and your roar echoes across dimensions. The moment your vision, once hidden, doubted, and dismissed, becomes the very light that others can no longer deny, avoid, or unsee. Chosen one, you are rising. And not just internally, not just in the spirit realm, but visibly, undeniably. You've spent years being overlooked, underestimated, misjudged, and even ridiculed. But it was never because you were unworthy. It was because your worth was too vast to be grasped by surface minds. Your value couldn't be recognized through earthly metrics. Your spirit refused to conform. Your soul defied explanation. And your gift? It couldn't be measured in man-made terms. That's why they couldn't see you. That's why you were hidden. But now the veil is lifting. The light inside you is not just flickering anymore, it's blazing, expanding, consuming every lie, every shadow, every doubt that once tried to keep you silent. And no amount of darkness, around you or within others, can shut it down. You are no longer the version of you that merely hoped for change. You are the change. You've walked through betrayal and kept your heart pure. You've stared down loss and kept your soul whole. You faced storms that were meant to destroy you, but instead they revealed your indestructibility. That's not just survival. That's spiritual royalty. That's divine resilience carved through chaos. And now the universe, Source, Most High, is aligning the path before you. Behind the scenes, doors are unlocking. Unseen hands are making room for you in places your feet have not yet touched. Rooms where your name is being spoken with reverence. Realms where your light has already been felt before you even arrive. Not because you chased validation. Not because you demanded attention. But because you stayed true in a world that kept trying to make you forget who you are. This unveiling is not about ego. It's not about vanity. It's not about applause or the illusion of status. It's about purpose, some mission you agreed to before this lifetime. And now, that mission is calling you out of the shadows and into full visibility. Not just so you can rise, but so you can awaken others. Your vision is needed. Your voice is needed. Your frequency is needed. Not next week. Not next year. But now, right now. So don't shrink. Don't hesitate. Don't let the fear of their opinions outweigh the truth of your assignment. You've already been trained in fire. You've been prepared in secret. You've been guarded by angels and shaped by divine timing. You've earned this moment not because of perfection, but because of persistence. You kept going. You kept believing. You kept seeing. This unveiling, it's about more than your personal breakthrough. It's about the ripple it creates. It's about the people who will awaken just by watching you walk fully in your truth. It's for the silent watchers who've been hiding behind screens, praying for a sign. It's for the ones who saw your journey, heard your truth, and quietly held onto your words like lifelines. It's for the souls still trapped in systems, still doubting their light, still questioning their calling until they see you rise. You are not just rising for yourself. You are rising for your bloodline to break generational patterns and rewrite destinies. You are rising for your soul family, for those assigned to your light. You are rising for every former version of yourself that once felt invisible, misunderstood, abandoned. You are rising for every chosen one still stuck in the shadows, thinking their gift is a curse. When they see your unveiling, they'll remember who they are. So rise. Loudly, boldly, unapologetically, authentically. Let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them speculate. None of it matters, because nothing they say can override what heaven has already declared. Their opinions hold no weight in the presence of divine truth. You are the unveiling. You are the prophecy fulfilled. You are the answer to a prayer someone forgot they even prayed. You are the light that can't be dimmed, delayed, or denied. You are the flame that burns with eternal clarity. And now that you've remembered who you are, nothing will ever be the same again. And now you know, chosen one, your vision was never a mistake. It was your map, your message, your divine assignment. They feared it because it reveals truth. But truth is what you were born to carry. So don't ever hide it again. If this spoke to your soul, let the universe know you've received it. Like this video, subscribe, and drop comment 77 to send your signal loud and clear. Play this message again. Each time, it will activate something deeper within you. Your time is now. Your light is rising. Your vision is unfolding. And the world is about to witness what can no longer be denied. Stay awake. Stay chosen. Stay unstoppable.